Hey, my name's Drew Hall. I have been a public school educator for 12 years now and a bivocational youth pastor for the last five. And I would like to share a story with you that led to the creation of my book. My first year of teaching, a teacher did a project in their room where the students had to write letters to a teacher that's made an impact on them. And I got to school one day and I had a few letters on my desk and I read them, and one of them has stuck with me ever since. And it was basically just, it goes into more detail in the book, but it was basically just the little things I did every day, just saying, hey, just checking on them made a big difference because nobody else was doing that in the student's life. And so, because of that, over the last 12 years, I have created a lot of different Coach Hall traditions. And one of them is when my kids leave, I tell them I love them, I care about them, and I tell them to keep it real in the streets. Now, I know that's goofy and you think it's weird, and I am. I'm the goofy, weird teacher, and that's okay. But I know those little bitty traditions mean a lot to kids. And one day, a kid looked at me and said, Coach Hall, what does that mean? I said, what are you talking about? He said, keep it real in the streets. What does that mean? And God hit me in the heart with that, saying, man, we don't talk about that enough, about what it really looks like to live for Jesus out in the world. Because, see, a lot of us, if you're like me, I remember being a teenager and, I was trying to live for Jesus, but I was also living in the world. And man, I was proclaiming Jesus, but my actions didn't match up with my proclaiming him. It was just words. And I had a friend tell me, one time she said, hey, you're a hypocrite. And she was right. And those words hit me like a ton of bricks. And so because of that, I knew, hey, I didn't want to do that. But it put me on the sideline like, hey, maybe God can't use me because I'm screwed up, because I tried, to be like everybody else. Maybe God can't use me. And I think a lot of people struggle with that, especially teenagers. When they screw up, they think that everything's over and there's nothing out there past that. And so I wanted to write this book about how to keep it real in the streets, and especially how to move from denial of Jesus to radically living for him. And that only happens through an intimate meeting and conversation with a risen Savior. And so the backbone of this book is the story of the Apostle Peter, who denied Christ three times on the night of his arrest, and then has an encounter with Jesus on the beach and breakfast one day. And he went from denying Jesus to proclaiming him to the people who crucified him. And that's a radical shift. And I believe that we can all have that shift once we have that time together with the risen Savior. Because when you see Jesus, it changes you. And I took myself out and put myself on the sidelines for a long time because I just didn't think I was worth it. I thought I'd screwed up too much. But I know biblically that's not the truth now. And I just want to share that with you if you're a student or you have students, or, whether you've been struggling with that for years in your life, that, hey, maybe God can't use me. This book's for you. So I love you guys. I hope y'all have a great day and keep it real in the streets.